right, guys, welcome to Metal Mondays Lite. Got a couple of questions. I'm trying something different with the sound. I have not, Neil, but we'll pull it up here in just a second. I'm going to keep you pulled up and we'll say hey to everybody. But is the sound horrific or does it sound kind of normal, a little echoey? Can you hear this? The budget guy. I've been sitting here tweaking controls I have no business tweaking. And, I never know. A lot of times I'll go back, Mimo, what is up, brother? I've got to go here and, Neil, I hope it's okay. I hope it's nothing. Let's see. Let me go back up here and say hey to everybody. Then we're going to come down and we're going to watch that. Ground Fog was here early. Howdy, Ground Fog. I don't know if you're back yet. Marco, brother and channel member. Neil McKenzie, channel member. Chris, channel member. But Chris is not a moderator. Hold on. While we are very low in here, which hopefully it will be more of a low key, I'm going to mod Chris up. And then we've got now Budget Guy is in here. Be up, my friend. Be Shady, channel member is in here or was earlier. Let's see who else we got. All right, let's go find Eonan's video. Is it one we want to watch? Is it okay? Is it good? Oreo Dave. Yeah, tweaking. No, I was just tweaking sounds. See, I've got these. I don't think my cat works because I've got a cat. Hold on. Tell me if y'all hear the cat. Oh, I'm not gonna post it, Neil. I'm gonna watch on the backside. Yeah, I have been so out of the loop. I'm starting a new job with an ad agency, doing the same thing, but using a different interface software to do all the shit that I do behind the curtains. So it's kind of been, I've got kind of a squirrely brain. No cat sound heard. All right, well, let's see if we can hear the laser. Uh oh. And the sounds aren't absolute. Oh no. Oh man. Yeah, I'll have to go back and catch that. I have a feeling I have. Yeah. Prayers for the onions, for Eonin and Mama Onin, and guys, life is fragile, crazy, unpredictable, joyous, miserable. What are all the other adjectives we could throw together to kind of highlight the peaks and valleys of this hike we're on, right? Not good sound. All right, no, yeah, the sounds suck, dude. What it is it's not my road. It's the way it interfaces with StreamYard and StreamYard trying to filter out with which I could probably plug in my headphones and turn off my speakers, but that would take like 45 seconds and might not fix anything. Hold on. Let Last time we tried this, it was worse. So I don't have my headphones. Let's see if I can turn it down. Turn down. How's this sound for me? Is it shitty? It's super loud here. And I'm afraid if I turn it down here, you guys aren't hearing shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to abort this little playground. Hold on. Hello. All right. Can y'all hear me? We're just going to go with that. We'll go with that. Um, the way I look at it, sound effects are overrated. I did get a knife of my buddy's in because he's out of town and he told me to go check his mailbox. And this is actually a good friend of the channel's. This is Pete's Operator's knife that he sold to my good buddy A to Z EDC to match my buddy A to Z EDC's. What's this pattern called? Eden? Odin, some pattern to match his pin. But this is a Maverick, and I have played. Anthony, what is going on, buddy? David Jewell, what is going on, buddy? I had played with this Maverick at Blade Show, was very, very underwhelmed. When this one came in, I was not expecting much, but man, have they made improvements, or at least I should say this specimen is top notch. I'm not a bar lock guy as much. I think the best bar lock in the game is the Vosteed Labrador just because it has detent. But this guy is thin, it is elegant. It feels good in the hand. It's a full size knife. I even broke out one of my PM2s to show you guys that the Maverick is not a little knife when you think about the Rockwall or some of the other smaller. I guess that's the only smaller tactile turn. But I'm very impressed with this. I'll be doing a review on it later tonight because I've carried it now for a couple of days. Be giving it back to him on Wednesday. Um, But yeah, do I think I'd go out and buy one for what they cost? No, because TRM is releasing the Bulldog. I don't know if y'all have seen that yet. I'm a big TRM fan. They are probably my favorite USA manufacturer, and I've got all their knives except their fixed blade and their little Atlas and the titanium shadow. But they've come out with the new knife, the Bulldog, and it is one that for about the same money, I think is more fitting for me. Let me pull it up. Let's find it real quick. And I'll show you guys and see what y'all think. You might have seen it. We might have looked at this Friday night. I never remember. Tell me if you can see these Instagram posties. And yeah, guys, I don't just like the knives, which I think are spectacular, but I really like the people. So this is the Bulldog. This is going to be dropped at Blade Show. That is Titanium Shadows. So I've got all of these knives at least once. I've got three of these. I've got a Magna Cut with titanium. I have a little nerd that's micarta with a hole in it, and then I've got an OG nerd, and then I've got an atom, a neutron, and my shadow. Um, and they're just great. I mean, to me, the shadow is a banger. But again, like I just there couldn't get it to fully deploy with my thumb flick. I reach over and I pick up this knife, which is considerably less expensive, and somehow the detent is absolutely snappy. Let's see if I can get. Let me stop sharing, or we got more room to see it. You can hear it. I don't know if it's tuned for that front flip, but this Fosteed Dachshund, I can give this a absolute screaming seal of approval. My species or specimen here was freaking awesome. Um, I've taken it apart. I didn't film it because I didn't know what I was going to get into. And my, be honest with you, my disassembly videos and my skiff upgrades and my breakdowns, they're fun to do. And I'm hoping that like as they age, that people like I used to would go want to take a knife apart. I'd search for it, find my video, and it would help somebody. But they don't get views, and they take a lot of time. So what I'm thinking is, you know, I'm seeing a pattern where people tend to like to see, which is surprising to me, like a group of knives, like 5 knives or 10 knives in any certain category, which works for me because right now I'm not buying any knives and I don't have anyone really, with the exception of my buddy's Voss Steed, who sent this little guy in, who I'll talk about in a second. I did an unboxing today that'll go live tomorrow. Do y'all recognize the silhouette of this knife? I was very impressed with it. And I'm not a flipper only guy, but as y'all know, I've bought some flipper only knives recently. This is the Mini Labrador. And I was surprised because I didn't know what it was going to come in. I knew it was coming, and I knew it was kind of a budgety, valuey knife, but it's titanium and 14C. And guys, it's slicey as the day and long as the day is long. And I was watching Ray tonight, hoping to get a peek at the baby in real time, and I didn't. And he's been using one to open all of his packages. And this little thing is I'll just go ahead and do it. So I've got some surplus coupon books starting to pile up here behind me, but check this out. In my unboxing, I said it was therapeutically slicey. But that's because the blade geometry is so good on this little flat ground blade. What I look at it as, and this is just me, keep in mind, I have a very weird way of looking at and categorizing knives. This reminds me of a very refined 10-year later Elementum, what it could have been. It was great. The Elementum was one of the first hype knives that I bought that I felt lived up to the hype. Hmm, QSP Penguin might have come before the Elementum was early, one of the top 5 knives. But this little Labrador, and I never got to try the full size Labrador, which I imagine would be an awesome knife. Y'all tell me, was if you experienced the Voss Labrador, was it a frame lock or was it a liner lock? Do y'all know? I can pull it. Let's do that. Clean out my paper. And this is the most special knife in the collection. But let's go to just Vosteed. And let me share this with you guys. And this is probably boring, but I was going to see if they had anything new coming. So this is the little mini Labrador, the one I was just showing you guys. I'm curious how much it costs. 69 bucks for a 14C blade. It's small, 2.73-inch blade, titanium frame lock. I haven't taken it apart yet, but it looks like it's just a little blowout with washers, nice fitted bearings, stop pin, clip, titanium clip, backspacer. I mean, elegant. That's what I've noticed about even on my raccoon cleaver, which is really a raccoon sheep's foot. I had an issue about halfway through having that knife where the button kind of locked up on me, but I was able to take it apart. What's this? What's what's this lock? What do we got going on here? Can anybody educate me on the Ankayo lock? And then we'll get back to chat. And I need to be back in the chat. I need to be in the chat. Live Knives Live 2021 at Gmizzle. Again, to me, looking at it right here, I don't like the color. I do like the pill shaped. I love these oblong. I don't know what you'd call this. Kind of like a track on a backhoe pivot because it doesn't get the slippy finger. It looks like you've got a traditional flipper, front flipper. But I wonder one pivot's double function is. I've never tried this knife. This is a fantastic knife, the Nightshade. I can't speak enough highly of that. I've just started to experience this. It's this little guy. Where did I put it? Right here. The Corgi, I've not checked the Corgi pup, but the Corgi was a fantastic knife that somebody got. Let's just look at their knives. Let's go to new arrivals. So this is the Corgi pup. The Corgi was a great button lock, and it was a very interesting plunge lock to where the blade was cut out all the way around it. So this is the little Labrador I've got. Again, a little gentleman's office package opening, not much more, but a great little knife. Corgi Pup, have not checked that out, but it looks like they've got it in PEI and in S35 if you like a nicer one for about 99 bucks. Not checked this out, but it looks like a nice design. Now, this, the Nightshade, that's not my jam with the flipper, but it's a beautiful knife. The Raccoon was a fantastic knife. In my opinion, the Chipmunk got a very good review for me before I gave it away. Again, multiple deployments on a very small knife, and they do a rear deployment. I have not checked out a Thunderbird. Um, that's one knife I haven't. And Lefty ranted about this, which made me suspicious. I don't do funky knives. This knife right here, it's $229, which is a lot for a Vosteed, but it's M390 done very well. I've sharpened it up. It seems to hold an edge very well, but I'm not a hard cutter, so I'm sure there are cut tests out there. The axis lock is done very well, as is the titanium. It has weight relief, and I think it's a great knife. It was one that made me think that Vosteed could really do some nicer knives. So let's just cruise through real quick and make sure that I haven't missed anything. The mink, I'll tell you a funny story. I think I already have. I learned about this knife, and one of you guys won this knife before it ever had a sheath. I was able to pick it up at Blade Show with the Vosteed, with it stuck through a Vosteed box to help them come up with the sheath. I'd suggested a taco sheath instead of doing this double-sided sheath because it's a little smaller, and I think it's less expensive. And I can't believe I told them you do not need to do an expensive don't put any money in your retention method because a lot of your people are going to change it. They're going to want to carry what they want to carry. But they went all out, and I got a production version of this after kind of doing a little consulting on the sheath that they didn't take my advice, which is still a great sheath, and gave this one away too. But really a great knife and a great departure for I've only met two of these. The young man and the young woman that I've met at Blade Show are the face of Vosti to me. And I feel like they work for somebody there. And I've heard him mentioned with great admiration, but I've never had a chance to meet him. And this is the Raccoon button lock cleaver that I had an issue with, took it apart, put it together, no issue, no foul, worked out great. Mayor Salt, what is up? Pedro Armstrong, the man, the myth, the legend, what is up? I've not been in the chat, guys. I have been clicking along on some of these websites. I was showing you guys if you came to the party late. I got this little knife I'd never ever experienced sent to me from Vosteed. It's a mini Labrador, and I never saw the full size Labrador, but it's a little $69 titanium 14C. Think of a refined elementum, super thin. I mean, look at that blade stock. I mean, it is a screamer slicer, flipper only, but I've kind of drifted into the flipper only realm. I've picked up several knives that are flipper only lately. Some Mr. knives. Jim Miller, what is up, buddy? So what am I missing in the chat? I have nothing scheduled. Crispy Critter, what's up, brother? Oh man, guys, I've got to watch it, but I don't want to watch it on here because stuff like that moves me to a point to where it's not healthy. Evening trends, but I will definitely watch it reach out to him. Crazy Roach, what is up, brother? I've got to go back and watch. I've got three people won Friday night. I wrote something down weird, so I've got to go back and see who won what. But you were one of the winners, buddy. Crazy Roach came in as a winner, as did brother Joe Isabella and Autumn Wind. And I know what Autumn Wind won, but I don't think Autumn Wind sent me an address. But we'll get all that worked out. I'll make a community post. Today was just kind of hectic, so I didn't get around to a lot of that kind of crap, which usually I do Saturday night, but I had to film videos Saturday night. And with daylight savings time, today I could not get fully awake, and I was working trying to learn platforms. I could not get fully awake till about 5:30. I'm running on totally flip-flopped hours. So I guess after this, late, I'll film a couple of videos and then I'll just settle in, go through some of this platform to learn it, and then just do my weird kind of grog ass through the day. I think you did, Pedro. I definitely saw it, buddy. Let me show you guys a knife I just reached out to Justin about. And it might not be Justin. I might have totally butchered his name. But this is a knife that just showed up at White Mountain Knives. Don't go buy it yet because I'm definitely kind of interested. It's a little guy. Have y'all ever heard of Mech Force? Been crying. I've seen it at other OEM or other retailers. Little Magna Cut blade. Expensive, but it's a little guy. It's only 5.12 inches with a 2.25 inch blade, which if you guys have followed the channel at all, you know that's kind of my jam. So there are three versions. I've seen them at a bunch of different retailers, and you don't get a price break whether you go with Ultim, which is beautiful, still 245, or if you go with this, my least favorite, but it'll probably be all that's left when I'm able to do something, G10. But if this is 5 inches, guys, this is a little guy. What I can't see, uh, yeah, it's got a little, I forget what this clip design is called. But again, they did the pancake sheath instead of the taco, which does make it a little bigger in pocket. But I imagine this is a tiny little knife. So if we go 5 inches, I think the chickadee's 5 inches. But if you look at the ergos of this handle, whoops, you've got, I would say, what's that, 2/3 of the knife is handle, or is that being generous? It's definitely over a half, which the chickadee's about 50-50. I think it's beautiful. I love the choil. I love, I don't know where I've heard of Ben Crine, um, but I know it's not hype. Snow Tribe, what is up? So y'all educate me. What is the story with Mech Force fixed blades? Because they've got them at River's Edge Cutlery. They've got them at DLT. I've got it pulled up right here to talk about it because I did not know it had already dropped. I knew it was going to be very hard to get. Steve is going to be at Blade Show, and I've asked him, please, Steve, bring some of these. Where'd it go? How do I refresh this? All right. This right here, you click on it, there's nothing there because they sold out instantaneously. But this knife right here came with a little leather sheath. I didn't know anything about it, and I talked to and know Steve. I follow him, what he's doing in the kitchen, his kitchen knives. I love his Instagram lives. I knew nothing about the Huck. This is right up my ballpark. I love it. Did anybody pick one up in the chat? Did any of you kids grab one? Snowtrag, you got one, buddy. Congratulations. Do you know Super Steel Steve? Are you guys buddies? Do you know his steel lineage and his edge geometry lineage as being a chef guy? I want to say, Jim, it was under 3, but I can't quote that. I know when I heard one of the lives talking about it, that it's a one off made by Steve in Georgia knife. And I want to say it's like $255, but I don't want to misquote it because I didn't buy it. What is going on, Matisfaction? Hold on, he priced it. Boom, boom, boom. 289. Guys, that's for a USA made, perfectly heat treated, exceptional cutting geometry for the task that it's intended to. If you've ever talked to Steve, I had the pleasure. I mean, it was a double blessing because I got to have dinner with Jason Brown and his friend Jason, and Steve was at one end of the table, OCD was at the other end of the table, and I got to sit with Steve and listen to him passionately talk about things that he really thinks about, which are edge geometry, because he was a chef, and hardness. You know, if I'm going to cook it in my oven, because he never wanted to be a big maker, I want it to perform the way I think the user is going to want it to perform. So I'm glad you got one, buddy, and I'm really, really interested to see what you think. And I think that's a value. If you've met him, you know. If you haven't, you're going to be so stoked. Maddie, that is awesome. I was going to do a pocket check in a second. I'm carrying a little cool fixie that Lord Needham sent to me. This is a little Carry development. They're still on Instagram. I started following him. We'll go to their page. He makes these little, I call them little slicey spikes, right? It's got some, what I call that ladder hand jimping that's kind of zigzagged like a vine, just enough to give you some good handle, but it's really sharp. It's like a little paring knife. I've decided that my EDC profile for fixed blades is a freaking paring knife. Give me a paring knife with a sheath. I'm money. That's what I'm all about. The other thing I've really become about lately is my little work sharp field sharpener. So much so that I'm thinking about ordering another one, even though I don't need it yet, from Amazon, because I've started to use this more than my TS Prof to learn to hand sharpen, and it's working perfectly. My edges are coming out great. I kind of jokered up my not really jokered it up, but I kind of jokered up my Evo. I had some slurry on it. I was using my TS Prof. It was perfect. Everything was great. I should have had my Venetians dry, but I always put a little bit of soapy water on them. So I mean, I use the knife. It's not a safe queen, but I've learned that I can take a knife and put it on that work sharp, or even now, which is crazy because it's not a bench stone, but I can hold my little 4-inch Venetian stones that I bought for my TS Prof. I can hold them, hold my edge. Hey, knives are life, and I can sharpen, or more than sharpen, I can hone my edge back to hair popping off those stones. So let's see if we can hear my glass break. We'll have another test. Did y'all hear glass break? Probably not. Pocket Metal would be so disappointed if he knew I was playing with sound effects. Crispy heard it. Sweet. We're making progress. Making progress. So what did everybody carry today? I carried the little um, carry development fixie, which we'll look at in a second. I carried, as I have been almost daily, my little mini Arius, and I've been carrying a different slip joint, a very different slip joint. I've been carrying my Surge, my little Surge Panchenko razor knife slip joint. Got a snappy walk and talk. Absolutely. Let's everybody definitely. We've been talking about that pretty fly. Thank you, buddy, for bringing it up. Everybody, I mean, positive vibes, whatever thoughts and love you can share with Yonan. Um, Kathleen, I was talking about that today. I'm such a light knife user. I mean, like I always say in my videos, most of my stuff that I cut, if I'm not taking that one or two or three time a year camping trip, I'm cutting Amazon boxes. Sometimes when I'm watching live streams, I'm a big proponent to sit in front of a empty Amazon box and cut paper. So I'm not cutting anything hard. But if I've got my fixie on my back and I get a package in, it's not a knife package. I'm not going to do an unboxing. I will use my fixed blade more so than I will my folder. Now, I'll play with my folder, but yeah, I love having a small EDC fixed blade. That's why for me, I get so many comments that they're so small. Well, to me, that's the kind of beauty of it because I'm not using it to go break down a bunch of cardboard, but the way most of my cuts are made, I'm opening a package, I'm cutting paracord, I've got a mess of tape to get back to some stuff that had been taped together, and I'm just cutting through it, you know? So it's not anything that I'm having to hard hack. But yeah, I really do like, and I never did. I didn't even used to look at fixed blades. I wouldn't look at slip joints. I was totally off on them. That's why I think this hobby's so wonderful because it it just you'll somehow merge and you'll find yourself buying something that never interested you before. Pedro, buddy, I need to do a video, except it would be too long. Of just go through my fixed blades. I mean, because I consider this a fixed blade right here. My little finger knife, my little nori neck axe. I've got so many wild little fixed blade knives. They're not even out here. They hang on. I don't know if y'all have ever seen on Blade HQ. Well, hell, I'll show it to you. And I never go to Blade HQ, but I know y'all aren't going to buy this because it's just a storage device. Let's go to Blade HQ, and then we're going to go look at something on Instagram, and I'll remember what it was. Let's go knife roll, and this guy right here is what is on the back of my bedroom door, and all it has in it is fixed blades. It holds, I want to say the slots, it has 40 slots. I mean, it's got these two hooks that hook over the door. So I've got little fixed blades on every single one of these, totally full. I've got little fixed blades behind me. I've got that bottom two drawers filled with little fixed blades. I'm good. But I say that I love little fixed blades, and I will find something that attracts me. Right now, I'm starting a new job with an agency, so it's a little different game. It'll be great. I know I've already got the connections here, so it's just a matter of getting things going. But I'm kind of on a freeze, a temporary freeze. Dwayne Letterman, what is up, brother? What is up? But I have been really enjoying my lush. I don't know if there's going to be another round of these, how quickly they're going to come because they sold so quickly. But this is a great little knife. I did a review or a comparison, which is not scientific. It's kind of scientific in a way. Um, Jim Miller was carrying the Jetstream, the Microburst, and the Aries. The Aries is awesome, dude. I've got one. Maddie's sending me one to check out, and I'm gonna be quick with it before it goes to Zach. Um, Steven was carrying the Tanto TKL FLN. I've not seen an FLN yet, but I'm a TKL fanboy. Guardian, Night Stalker, Piranha. Love the Piranha. Love the Guardian. Love the Combatant. FMF, the Accomplice. MR1, sweet, dude. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Nice, nice carry, dude. And I remember I asked you guys, is it real quiet? Let me get that. It could be. I've got my thing turned way down, but I don't want it to get all screechy. That might be a little better. I was trying some different stuff on the sound and it didn't work on. Kathleen, I've actually had, and yes, I don't own any now, but I did own a lot. They were giveaway knives, but before they were giveaway knives, they were in my collection for like 2 years. I like every one of them. There's one, the Foltz blade is actually a much larger knife than the other minimalist. My favorite was probably the little cleaver because I use it again as a utility knife, as a package opener, as something I usually wore those around my neck, even though they come with a belt loop type deal or a belt clip, I guess you'd call it. It's kind of a crappy clip, but you can throw any kind of clip on it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of CRKT's minimalist. As a matter of fact, I'll show you the one I was talking about. Let's go over here to White Mountain. I have not, guys. I've been not browsing any sites because, like I said, I've been on a white freeze CRKT minimalist. We'll go somewhere else if we don't have it here. Because one of these guys is much bigger. Because I did buy some Flitanium scales just to try out what it did to the grip. This is the one I had. Yes, it's ugly. I get it. It's a Persian, but it's got a bigger handle. And if you look at that, it comes with a neck way, which is the way I carried it. Or you could carry it with this. I use these two studs because these holes are a little smaller to mount my ulti clip in there because I'm an ulti clip freak. But this knife, because you've got to be careful. Some of these have the same handle pattern as these Flitaniums, but the Flitaniums, what they do, let's see if they show it on a knife. All right, so if you look at where those screws are and you look at where that handle bows out and you go back and you look at the regular minimalist, let me find one that's got the same screw pattern because I know it didn't fit in this one, didn't fit in that one. It definitely fit in this one. So instead of having three very distinguished places to keep your finger, you've got one choil area and then you've got this flared G10 handle that just goes into the butt of your hand. This is the one I actually had. I apologize. So this is the ugly one that I had that had a compound grind, but it was very sharp. I put those scales on it from Flitanium, and then it was given away. But if you look at this one right here, which is the one I like, the Warncliffe, because I bought this and immediately gave it away. Because if you look at where that screw pattern is, it's totally different than either of the main minimalists that will accept those Flitanium scales. So you could put those Flitanium scales on the cleaver. You could put the Flitanium scales on this one or any where you've got that good wide separation in your bolts. But if you notice, the minimalist Warncliffe is much smaller. Now that little ugly guy would work, but I don't do recurves. So let's go to where I always like to look is Blade Binge to see what people are selling. And we can play good guy, bad guy, and go send messages if we see somebody out of line and say, hey, man, this is a really good knife. I think that's a little high price. The Flitanium is, I think, a very refined 80-20.5. It's made in the same facility. You know, Flitanium licensed that. Here's a Roosevelt for $1,200. That's about 350 high. Never flick, 12, 28, 23, all time, dial minute. Nah, he's high. Fred, you're up there. I'm not going to, because I know how rare those are. I won't even comment. The Chisel Grind Chavez. That's something I don't understand, guys. And I know it's popular, and I know a chisel grind gives you less area, but check that out. And there's your flat side. And look at it in the handle. It always looks off center because your grind's off. And not because it's anything wrong with it. It's a chisel grind. So if you put it in the handle, it looks wonky as all, in my opinion. But there you go. If you're looking for a chisel grind for 375, which I'm not, and then we've got Flatanium's never been. I've gotten very warm fuzzies from Mettenboss. I've gotten very warm fuzzies from Sharp Dress Knives. I've gotten very warm fuzzies from Rips Garage Tech. Um, I haven't had good experiences with Flataniums and Benchmays. This knife right here at $240, I don't know what he means by good, but this is a Riot made. It's one of the first art forms I got. Probably one of the first, I'd call it high end knives. Mine's S35, but it is a very, very well tuned flipper only knife. But I used to be a flipper only guy. And these are kind of hard to find now. I liked it so much that when they came out with the arc form theory, I got it. And it's kind of a very slicey version of an art form design. And they work without, I think they work with inside designers. I'm not sure. Great knife, but the one that we were just looking at is available a little bit high. But what I always tell people, if you like a knife on Blade Binge, everybody I bought a knife, and I bought five. I haven't sold any, but I bought five, and I've gotten very fair prices that were less than the asking price because I asked if I could get it closer to table. That I was very interested. Sometimes it took a day or two, but these people are putting these knives out there because they want them to go. Sure, they want to get as much or as close to what they've got in them as any of us would, but they'll also work with you. Um, that's a great knife. I've got it. I wish the finger hole was a little bit longer because you do have to kind of cramp up to get to your finger hole, in my opinion. But again, I don't know if I'd TRM Nerd Magnacut Tech Wood Scales. A little high there. I shouldn't be judging. This is a great knife. If y'all like slip joints, I've got a Cavist. I want to say I paid less for that. Maybe it was $199 new. That seems high. I don't know. Maybe I'm just desensitized. There's a Shadow, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's a pretty fair price. Airbnb. Nessie, we'll get off here. I just like looking to see what's out there because, like I said, I used to check this site. There's an Arnaud Bernard. I used to check this site all the time and buy a lot of knives here, but I haven't been buying anything. That's a great scale. I've got that same scale pattern. That's a what's it called? Rock Scale Designs. That's the dragon scale pattern. I've got that in a graphite on my Manix too. And what I loved about this is they're linerless scales. So a lot of people that like the Manix love it because it's got those jimpy liners. This allows you to get rid of those jimpy liners, and you've got, for me, more of an urban, low key, crew wear Manix with titanium rock scale designs, which were what was on that PM2. And that's something, those are regular titanium rock scale designs on my crewwear. Justin OCD for EDC trade. He and I traded. This was an orange Cutlery Shop edition, and this is his Spyderco Club edition. And I traded him a knife he really wanted. And I want to get, because I've got a Tonto and I've got a Drop Point, both of which have my Carta scales. But I think I like the PM2s when they've got titanium a little better. For example, I think this knife would be banging with some of those rock scale design, graphite, colored, different pattern scales. Let me get caught up in the chat because I've been just bouncing around the internet, bouncing around the room. Did y'all ever listen to Fish? I know that. I know what we need. We need music. Hold on. Let me get y'all just a little jazz. Witchcraft rebooted. What is up? Jim, are you going to bed night, buddy? Have a good night, my friend. Yeah, with Pocket Metal being out of pocket for the next 2 Mondays, I figure I will throw a Metal Mondays light up for us to hang out as long as you guys want to. I know Monday nights are kind of tough for everybody, but I'm available to be here with you guys. And I enjoy it. I enjoy hanging out. I really enjoy this Weed Nefarious. I'm about to do a video. Like I said, I'm kind of re-looking at my collection that I did, a one and done video on most of them, and that was it. But I love it. I love it. We need Dark Gravity. Where is he? You know what? I have no idea where Dark Gravity is, and I did not send him a link. I sent D2 a link, and I sent Pocket Metal a link because I did this kind of late. I set it up last night, and I didn't think about it because, like I said, I was so groggy all day. I didn't even really come to until I made myself shower about 5. Me too, Snowtrog. I like, and with this agency, with I guess the only caveat being when I'm meeting people via WebEx or whatever, I can work at night and do my thing. And I'm just a night guy. That's just the way it works. Budget guy, you never have to worry about that. Dude, he's just real. He just calls him like he sees him. A great guy. You see how often our thoughts align, right? I mean, I've got a list of things I can't talk about, and I respect that because I know what triggers him and I don't want to trigger him, but he's a great guy. Don't ever feel like you're walking on eggshells in any live stream around here. If you do, it's not a good live stream. But for people that are real, that throw out their ideas, if it's his stream, I can't blame him when he gets triggered. Even though that same stuff doesn't trigger me. I guess I've been around him long enough to know that he's different, right? About what he holds dear to him in some areas than I am. But if we look at the overall humanity of the overall situation, we're all kind of looking out for the same thing. He's a great guy. I mean, for God's sakes, he rescues furry little groundhogs that are just awesome. That takes a special person. Zach stuff. I'm terrible at movies. The last movie I saw, I think I told y'all, was Titanic in the theater. When you're at the time an undiagnosed ADHD guy and you wonder why you can't sit still through a 3.5 hour movie that really doesn't do much for you, a lot of things become clear. That was brutal. I can remember as a kid, going to see Disney movies with my aunt and my cousin and just thinking, gosh, when's this going to be over? And it was a good movie. It was just, that's when I discovered YouTube and the little 15-minute niblets of information, whether it's the tea that's going on in the makeup influencer world, or if it's Zach showing me how to do a scale swap, if it's in little bite-sized Javon mental absorbing chunks, I'm in good shape. Anthony, there's no offense taken, buddy. And when we talk about what we talk about in the chats, it's because we're in the chats to get away from the shit that's out there, that's outside the chat. So you're not telling me anything. I don't agree with you, but we don't talk about that stuff in here because we can't directly change it, and YouTube doesn't want us to be thinking about it. So we come in here, we talk about each other, we talk about what's going on, we talk about knives, we talk about whatever the case may be. We talk about Joe Isabella's awesome little be up art. That's the closest I got to a Chewy, and I just love it. We just hang. We just hang. But yeah, dude, there's conflict everywhere. And, the world's a crazy, crazy place. And yeah, and be shady. That's the hashtag of the day. And the only thing, my only regret, and I have very few in life. A lot of my missteps were learning chances for me. I felt like they were tests for me to get better at being a human. But I wish I didn't. It didn't take me to be 50 till I realized other people's opinion of me were just that. It was their opinion. It doesn't mean dick. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't have any bearing on the entity or the human that is me, right? So the zero fucks given thing is not go be a bad person. It's just do you, boo. Do you, boo, to the best of your ability. Achieve your spot in where you want to be in your day to day. When you walk by people, do you want to be the guy that's bright and smiles even though you're having a shitty day? Or do you want to be just kind of the guy that's just getting from place to place? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with either one. I'm just saying that if more people were more kind, a lot of the outside drama would still be there, but there'd be more insulation from it because you'd have more kind people giving zero fucks about it. And then you get to a point to where you're pushed up against a wall, and we all know what happens. Ask the British. Joe X is back on Ground Fog, and I didn't watch the video, but evidently his municipality where he lives in, I think it's Austria, but I'm wrong probably because I hated world geography. He had run into some legal complaints, I guess you'd say, where some neighbors who had evidently moved from London or from wherever to the country had seen him doing some of his shenanigans and didn't understand it and would report him, and they had to, who knows, but it's all well documented on his channel. I never watched him really before. I watched, when I first got into the knife game, Zach, Big Red, Grateful Panic, Sun MC, a lot of Neil Shabazz would come up when I would search for a knife, because that's not what I would do. I would see something, because I did watch Zach and Ben on Blade HQ, because that's when I was a Blade HQ evangelist. I thought they were the only place that sold knives that I'd never seen, right? So for a new knife guy, you can kind of get sucked up in it. And they had a really good online presence. But through their channel, I found a lot of people talking about the knives. Knight's Edge on your channel, buddy? Is that where the short is? Talk to me. Hold on. Always. It's and this was a long time ago, but I was a psychology student and also an English major. But it's better for you as a human, for the muscles, for your heart rate, to try to smile than it is to frown. It takes less effort, and it releases endorphins or tocins or whatever you want to call them, not dopamine. Kyle Coonley, what is up, brother? So Knight's Edge, is it on your page, buddy? Because I don't want to pull up something that's not it. Let me go somewhere. Hold on, Knight's Edge. My shorts are 15 seconds of me opening a knife and they used to be like really good, and now they suck. I get no views. I used to get 2 to 10,000 views on every one, or 80% of my shorts. And my shorts, the ones that did so well, were 15-second ones of me unsheathing a knife and sheathing it back up. So Night's Edge, I'm on your page. I see your shorts. Are you talking about your Doritos short? Give me a thumbs up if you're talking about your Doritos short, and I'll play it. Night's Edge, you in here? Let's see. I'm just gonna watch the damn thing. I'll tell you if it's up. All right, we're gonna watch this. Modern problems, modern solutions.
Damn it. Modern problems.
That's good stuff. Is that a Midgard? That is a Midgard, isn't it? Yeah, that should be a Doritos commercial. That's funny shit. Funny shit, Night's Edge. That's a Midgard's Messer, right? That's what my little Nori neck axe is. Where'd I put it? And I've got a couple of fixies of theirs. But that thing's jimped all the way around. I mean, it's really a well-made little piece of. The Titano's over to Buddy's house over at A to Z's. I'm gonna get it back when I give him his Maverick that I've got to review tonight, or give it an overview on. Whoops, as I fail it. Got an interesting clip. And I forget what that pattern is, but the reason he bought it off Pete's Operators, it matches a pin he's got. Not my jam, like I say, but it is a lot better than the ones I played with at Blade Show. And then does anybody else have a blacked out MASH V1, V2.5 clone? Put that together from an old MASH and a new MASH. And then I've got a blonde one that was originally kind of a coppery and the black blade, but I call it blinding now. Let me grab it. Whoops. That's the problem when you have too many knife cases. That's why I don't count them. But this is blonding. So that's the one that came with black hardware and a black blade. And so this blade is 14C and this one's 154. So mash V2 going together with a mash 2.5 to make a couple of kind of unique mashes. Because that looked a lot darker, that copper, when it had the black blade and the black hardware. But I love the blacked out one. Good knives for the price. Thanks, B Shady. Uh-oh, here I've had some y'all just want tunes off? I had some evil music for pocket metal stuff. Spook Doozle. I can make the music go away. Let's do a test. Hold on. All right, if I do the music away, y'all tell me if you can hear this music. Did y'all hear that music? Night's Edge, it's huge, dude. Like I said, I don't recommend anyone going out and getting one because it is the most reckless purchase I've made, and I'll have a hard time getting four for it. And it was 550, less 55 bucks. No music. That's all. It's all good. It's all good. But you probably let's see if y'all hear the crickets. Yeah, it's something to do with StreamYard. Me not having any kind of AV technical skills. That's why I keep it simple. I keep it on the down low. Um, I'm not good at editing. Uh, don't really want to be. I think that would make it a lot harder to. And I try to think where the value in. Again, I see it from a real weird side in what I was looking for and where I was able to find it when I was getting into the, and still where I go to find information. And there's a certain type of here it is that I like. And then if I'm really interested, I'll go watch Stasa or Jared do cut tests. But to be honest, guys, I respect all that. It's just not my hot button. Um, did you hear it, Michael Morgan? No, that's just some loop that was on this. The only thing that seems to work is if I go and like disguise my voice.
Like allegedly, this makes me not sound like me. This is my tri-state voice.
And then I think this makes me kind of sound mousy.
Hello. So those work, but
I can even do a retro echo. Go chicka chicka slam shady, hotter than a set of twin babies in a Mercedes Benz with the windows up. But nobody wants to hear that shit. Well, Anthony, I don't know. That's why if you read the description of my channel, I'm not a knife. I'm a knife guy, right? I'm just like everybody that likes knives. I learn from you guys. That's why a lot of times somebody will mention something in chat and I'll go look it up on the internet because I don't know about them. Most everything I've seen or come into contact with the occasional surprise that I just got on a limb on, one of these guys has shown it to me and they haven't tried to convince me to go buy it. I wouldn't fall for that. It's just I can tell from people that I watch that I know the kind of people they are. And there's certain people I can watch that he and I have totally different jams in the type knives we like. But I can tell from his shitty review telling me how shitty the knife is that I'm going to love it. So there are things that work out that way, but it's all about I'm not looking for someone to, and I hope a lot of people aren't, but I'm not looking for someone to tell me it's okay to get this or that. I'm just looking for someone's objective opinion, which I know it's going to be subjective unless there's Stasa doing a bunch of cut tests, which I don't understand. And hats off to him because I watch his channel all the time. I've got him rated as the top channels that I watch, one of them. Um, but I just like to play with knives, like to open Amazon boxes, every now and then whack out some, that didn't sound right, but cut out some paracord when I'm hanging up my hammock. I love to go camping and do a little fire sticking and get a little nest and start a fire with a ferro rod. Play with stuff though, right? It's not like I'm actually having to use a knife, but then I also think that those hard use guys in Alaska will say that are looking for a knife to go out and face a grizzly bear with. They're not coming to YouTube to see what we think about knives anyway, right? They're just they know because they actually use them. And there are a lot of people in the community that use their stuff, and I think we all do to different degrees. And I think that it's all valid, and that's what makes it all kind of a cool deal. No, Trog, it happens all the time. And I think that's the type of personality that does that, whether they buy a video game or music, they're looking for someone to take their side and better yet, to help them go after people who don't. I mean, it's almost the internet's a weird place. It brings people, I think, down in IQ and in age. I think it can get grown-ups banding together under common causes and acting like kids. And bushcraft, I'm the same way. I mean, I have gone through stages where I buy a lot of knives, but I really do like looking at them and seeing what's coming out. And a lot of times, guys, it's a lot of the same that's coming out with different twists, different colors, different stuff, right? Um, but it's interesting to see where things go. And it's interesting to see the companies that are actually pushing those boundaries. And I think we'll continue to see it. I mean, I think it's a competitive market, and I think there's a lot of really cool stuff coming from overseas, a lot of innovation. I did a review on, and I moved it through because it wasn't my jam, but the cyber tricks, um, which I think's a Reich. I could be wrong, but it was a great knife. I mean, it was balanced. It was bizarre. Meersalt, nothing wrong with hate. I always say choose debate over hate, but you don't have to. You're free will. I'll love you no matter what. Hey, Night's Edge, everyone helps all each other. And Tri-State, I haven't met Rochambeau in person, but Tri-State was my roommate. He and Kara, Rob's Nerdy Knives, we chat on his lives. Duty's fantastic, Stella, and they're more and more. I mean, you've got Zach, you've got Jody at Big Red EDC, you've got Justin, who's done, think of the innovation he's brought to some of the Spyderco issues that lefties were having with the compression lock with his CME and his Slickamall. Just some great people. Said Stevie, great beard oil. And then you've got Lancelot Leather if you're looking for a little custom slip. So there are people that are active in the community that are offering things that a lot of us in the community can use. And G Ball's a great guy. I mean, I can't name everybody because, like, one of my favorites, very controversial in some ways, but Lefty. I think Lefty EDC is one of the most straight up, shoot it down the middle guys. Whether you like it or not, he'll be honest with you. Um, or I think he has been, but I'm an idiot. Who knows? I'm a big fan of Lefty. I'm a big fan of Bearded Gear. Bearded Gear, who doesn't do a lot of videos. I think I showed his videos on a Friday Night Flick last week. He's the one who showed me through a great video. If any of y'all are having trouble Spidey flicking, or you feel like you're not comfortable spidey flicking, his video where he goes through about 8 different knives and how he holds them and how he flicks them got me to where I could comfortably flick my shaman, which was the first knife I was able to flick. And then from that, watching his video, because he goes through all different knives, because they all don't flick out the same way. For example, a pair of 2, you don't flip out, you flip up. So he showed some different little things to feel for and think of. And hell, we'll just look at it because it's too good not to share. Everybody can probably middle finger flip, but I couldn't forever. So if you go to YouTube and you search bearded gear Spidey flick, because that's what it was called at the time, you'll come up with this video right here from Bearded Gear. I'll put it in the
Sell to millions of people online with shop.
Shut up. I'll put it in copy that. Let's get it playing. And let's drop it in here. Is it showing me another ad? Hold on. So it starts off just kind of talking about, well, I went back past his ad break. Just talks about how to hold it. And then he gets in like where you pinch it. And then he gets different knives. It shows where he holds them and how you can. And then you can take that same knife and Spidey flick it. He does that here in a second. And he shows which way to push. I mean, it was very, 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 very helpful for me because he's showing and talking about.
I don't know of any knives. I'm going straight out 9 o'clock. But some of them are more like 10 and others are more like 11. Some of them are like 11:30. You know, it just depends on the mechanics of the knife and the way that the hole is positioned or the studs are positioned, etc. And that's what makes it work for me on this one, is that's probably more like 10 o'clock, realistically. So let's try it on a knife with thumb studs. All right,
So anyways, I won't bore y'all with that because we've talked about it before, but it goes back to there are people in the community that will help you do anything you're trying to accomplish in the community. I mean, in a lot of ways. And there'll be haters. It's reality. But don't let the haters get you down and know that there are people out there that'll give you really good advice on how to do things. I look at the advice that Kevin and Colin got trying to figure out, hey, dude, it was a great one, buddy. Great short. Keep doing what you do. No, Marisol, Bearded Gear is doing the Luft Concepts. So his company is, and I forget, I've met the guy that he's partners with, but I don't know him. They know each other from, let's go, Luft, because they've got a really cool knife out that I did not get, but I did get to handle at Blade Show. This is their jam. So that's Bearded Gear, Jake, and I forget this guy's name. But a really nice guy. So they've got this is their newest knife, and they're also having this made by River's Edge Cutlery. Not currently, but it will be, I think. And then their first knife I've got, it is the Avant. That's an upgraded version of the Avant. The first one they had was this guy right here. They were recently on sale for a really good price, but they sold out. So his is Luft USA or Luft Concepts. And they've got 2 designs now. These are their 2 main designs. And he was, before he started his knife company, when he was a channel guy, he liked a lot of the more bougie knives, but his basic love of the way a knife opened was all based around a Spyderco Para 2. That's why his Avant pays a lot of homage to the Spyderco Para 2. Um, really good one. Yeah, and the thing is, Anthony, a lot of times these knives have gotten so much better, when especially on the value type knives where they're more consistent. But that doesn't mean you won't get one that doesn't perform the way it was shown. And that's why we've got so many retailers that provide these knives, or if you buy from a designer like Leong or from EMP EDZ directly, they stand behind their products. So if you get one that doesn't fit your expectations, they'll all take them back. Within 30 days at least, they'll take them back, switch you out with one that's a better model. Because if you think about it, there are a lot of knives coming off that are getting checked by, probably at a pretty rapid pace. But yeah, I mean, if I can't see what would be gained by showing a knife that was something that I personally didn't get excited about. It'd be hard to film something to show it unless I was just tearing it up because there was something wrong with it. And I rarely do that because I rarely find things dangerous with knives and I don't like to be negative. I just don't review it. But I wouldn't want to tell people that I communicate with or that watch my channel, even though I know nothing about knives except what I like, something that I didn't like was good, or something that I saw had really tough access to the lock bar without pointing that out, because that doesn't bother everybody. And I've got a lot of knives. The I hate to call names, but I love the knife. But the lock bar access, because of the design, leaves a good bit to be desired. The Gunslinger Jack, great knife. You can access it fine, but it's just tucked up in there, right? And that's just my subjective thing that I kind of like. Later, Crispy. Naked group hugs, brother. Have a good night, my man. So there are a lot of things that are different, right? And I think it's rare to find a knife that checks all the boxes. But the more that I get into the game, I think I've experienced more things to where maybe I've come to realize that there's not one knife that'll check all the boxes, but there's a handful, Cheeto, that do check the boxes, right? So I'm convinced I could put together 5 knives out of my collection, 5 folders, and be good. Couple of slip joints, maybe 5 fixed blades. And that'd be more than most people ever use, right? So I just like to experience what other people make or have envisioned as a tool to be used. To me, that's just fascinating because I don't possess that part of a brain, really. The green slip, this one here or this one here? There are two kind of green slips because this is Lord Needham's sharpshooter jack, which has got the coolest carbon fiber of any knife I've ever seen because it's the glow carbon fiber. I don't know if you can see that glowing. And the other one is in a Rock City leather slip. That's a slip joint. Really nice. Same pattern as the Gunslinger, which is the locking one. And then this is made by a guy, I want to say Ohio, but this is T. Denny Knives. And he makes this little apprentice, which is a fantastic little razor blade scalpel of an EDC fixed blade. This one's in crew wear with a satin finish. I've also got one from him in Magna Cut with an acid etch finish. in a deep dropper. These are Oak City leather slips. They ship with great carbon or Kydex sheaths. This is a Gen 1 in acid etched Magna Cut, but just a little box opening scalpel razor knife. He's a young guy. He's got a full-time job. This is his hobby. I will show you his stuff if y'all aren't familiar with him. I like to find people on Instagram and follow them because that's where I learn about a lot of knives that I didn't know about before. So Tyler is a lot younger than me. I don't know. I've never met him in person. I've talked to him on the phone because I've ordered a couple of knives from him. But I mean, these little guys are beautiful. These are Gen 2s. The Gen 2, he's moved the plunge grind back and up where it came to about here before. And he's got screw-on scales, which makes me wonder if he's going to be able to offer some of these more premium, like carbon fiber or paper micarta scales as, I mean, he makes a couple of other blades too, but follow this guy. I'll show you another one that I've fallen in love with recently. And if you've been on Friday Night Flicks, you've seen me show this guy. Can y'all see that? Yeah. Unison knives. I think this is called the Stray 2.0. And this design speaks to me in such a deep way because that grind is so hollow and so sick. That's not a Stray, but let me show you another one. He does a lot of knives, but this is look at that DLC coated. Look at the grind in that knife. Look at the lines. But yeah, Kinnison knives, absolutely stunning bills. I love the Stray. I love the look out of it. I would love to have one day. He does some other really cool stuff, the Bull Terrier. But there's so many makers out there that I would not even be aware of that are really putting in the time, doing the work. And I have met and is a very nice guy. So do business with people that you like their work, you like their ethic, you like what they're up to, and you'll find plenty of stuff here. Have a good night, crazy. What time is it? 10:30? How many people we got? 50 people? So what's on y'all's mind? Anything y'all want to chat about? That one you just showed is a production knife. Brett, is that the one you showed me? Yours, you're the one that brought me up. I've got it on my wait, that's not the one I just showed. Are you talking about the one with the Spidey hole? Was this is a production knife? I'm confused, but I love his stuff. Take care, Todd Carr. I don't know if I saw you, brother. I've got to get better at staying in the chat, not jumping back and forth. Or I need to get a couple of more monitors. Maybe I can do that. But then I'd have to look at several different things. That might cause me to have a seizure. Nobody needs a seizure. The other's the best tech production. So the one with the Spidey hole, Brett, this guy, let's see. Let's see if I can pick out a best tech production. You would think I could pick one out because is this one? Are you saying that this guy, the Hound, is the best tech production, the one that kind of looks a little bit like the doesn't quite have the aggressiveness. Or are you talking about the totally different knife? I think that's called the Basset Hound. Brett got an absolute banger, guys. Yep, yep, that's the one we were looking at. Brett, is yours on his IG here? I bet it's further down. I know it is. Because I've got it on my phone, but my phone's a camera. God, he makes some beautiful stuff. I'm scrolling, guys. I should be on the chat. Yeah, I mean, you guys, there's if you're not following, let me go to Instagram. Hold on. Let me go to my messages. Can I show it? Can I show it, Brett? No, I got it on the messages, buddy. I'm gonna pull it up on Instagram and share it. Let me find it. Let me get it open. Uh, all right, guys. I hate the way this freaking Instagram keeps messages together. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I got it. All right, I'm about to share a badass knife that Brett Ingram sent to show me today. Check that out. That is a beautiful Keennison. What was that other picture? What's is that considered a custom Basset Hound or is that a custom stray? That's why it's great having great knives because you can trade them out for other great knives. Which one is that? The Keennison, is that a stray or is that a custom Basset Hound? I've got to get back to the range. I've got a lot of freedom pills. I just haven't been out in so long. Been quite a while. Got my bug out all tuned up with my Metin Boss scales. This is a Benchmade or a Blade HQ version bug out that had the first G10 liners. I forget what number. Zach would know. But I put these little Metin Boss or Metin Boss scales on it. Great little knife. It and my pair too. I'm gonna have to get some scales to replace the micarta on these two on my drop point and on my Tonto. And then I'm waiting. I've sent a message. I need to check my shop. I'm waiting for some, and I've been waiting forever for some original goat 8015 titanium scales because I want to do a mod on that knife that Satu put just a wicked grind on. Anthony, that's sweet. I've got a P322 and wanted to get a suppressor for it. To make it a badass, thin, Metin Boss, bougie knife we don't need, but we buy because we're addicted. Mersalt, you have to ask. I ought to buy a backspacer for it to even dump more cash into it that I won't get back. Same reason we bling out our Olites, man. Same reason we bedazzle them. Or we put $80 worth of tritium in our LEP, our laser emitting projector. Look how bright that is. If I keep it on there, it'll probably start smoking that tapestry. But yeah, that's what you just call being foolish. Just like this. No one needs this to read their map when they're out in the wilderness, which we never are, or to start a fire, which I'll never need to do. But I can use it to read blade steels off knives and look cool doing it. So it's worth $40. A fool and his money are easy to part. And it really sucks when you get put on kind of a buying freeze because you start noticing shit left and right. T98, TK98. What is that? Let's see. Let me go back up and see if I can find it because I'll Google it and pull it up. TK98 knife. Or knife. Wants me to say it's a flight. Is it a TKL? Little TKL dagger? My thick boy? Are you talking about my this is like my thick boy, but are you talking about my big ass folding shovel? It's over at my buddy A to Z. I've been letting him check it out. He's a giant, kind of like Maddie. I'm hoping he'll fall in love with it, but I don't think I'm having any progress. Paul Mills, pictures of what, buddy? I think I do. Are you talking about the TK98? Is it a TKL? I've got this right here. Whoops. Let me present. Present. Share screen. And then I think my batteries are going dead in my mouse. And I hate this pad, but I'm going to use the pad. Okay, so you're going to make me watch a commercial? Tim. Tim. All right, screw this. I'll go back and show you the picture. Let's find it. Is that the knife? Oh, that one, Paul. Gotcha. Yes, that is the reblade. I'm hearing you now, buddy. Let me go to it. Is it still sharing? I probably need to stop sharing. Stop sharing. I need to go to messages. Paul, did you send it to me, brother? Yeah, I think you did. Let's see. Hey, Paul, how hard would it be for you to shoot it to my IG? Because I've got my phone set up as a camera. See if you can shoot it to my IG. That way I can pull it up. I've got my messages open. I don't see it in my email. Let's see what Blade HQ has without while he gets that. Let's look at this. No rivals. I never ever go there anymore, but let's see what we got. Advanced tacticals. Chico's. Nothing exciting. I'm off there. Screw that. Thanks, Paul. If you sent it to me, I think it just came. Let me see. It's telling me to use the mobile app to see it. Damn it. It's not letting me pull it up, dude. I'm going to share my. There it goes. Hold on. It did share it. Hold on. I'm going to share. Boom. Boom. Look at the grind on this, guys. This is a Brian Transparent Knives reblade. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Mad to cut at 64.7. 20 thou. That's a beauty. Why'd it go blue? Dude, that's gorgeous. Is that going in your bug out or your 940? Or is it going in your bug out? Pedro, I like to carry them in my back pocket. Yeah, it is, Zach. That's a gorgeous one. I picked up a couple of 3V blades from Brian just to put in some of my 20.5s because I didn't want to go crazy on a reblade. But I did want to get something, for the bug out. That's going to be awesome, dude. And I've been noticing a lot of, because he's such a perfectionist, a lot of seconds that have been coming up. That, I mean, I think he sells for shipping. And to me, they look perfect. Yeah, I like to keep a flashlight in my left pocket and then a slip joint buried in my left pocket. And then I carry a either an appendix fixie or back pocket fixie. And then I carry my primary folder in my right pocket because I'm right-handed. Josh, how long are they taking? I know it varies depending on how big, how backed up he is. But I'd like to get one for one of my 940. Although I love my 940. I think I'd probably do an 80 20.5. Hey man, I think that Night Stalker's beautiful, buddy. Is that this TK98? Let's go to the Night Stalker. Hold on. Where's our website? Where's our website? TKL. I know the Night Stalker's got the, has it got the little loop? I think it's this one right here. Let's see. There it is. Did you get the one with the loop or did you get the loop delete? Here's the Night Stalker. Why is it not pulling up? He makes such great knives. I've got a Piranha, a Combatant, a Raider, and a Outer Limitless Apprentice. And he's right over in Georgia. He's one state over. He's changed up the website. All right. Which Night Stalker did you get? I love his stuff. The coating that he puts on it, that is it nitron? I always mispronounce it. But he puts a nitrite coating on it that ups the HRC. Hold on, where is it? Nickel boron. So where it looks stone washed, that's nickel boron that makes it like an 80 HRC. It's the same stuff that they treat the interiors of pew-pews with. Yeah, nickel boron, badass stuff. I've got my that's my outer limitless, my biggest one. And I mean it is sharp. I love the 80CR, and this right here I carry all the time, and it is an absolute laser beam for a thick blade. Let me stop that. Boom. That. Whoops. Bad cutting. I'm hitting that freaking choil. And then the big one is equally slicey. Great little knives. And Tim and Suzanne are excellent people. Joe Isabella. I'll show y'all a killer fixed blade. And this is one of my Nashville pickups. This is a driver defense from over in Guntersville, Alabama. Splinter. 64 Magna Cut. Nice size knife. 3-inch blade. Full handle. Lock and sheath. And then, what's up, Chef Rocky? I can't show this one off enough. This is, I finally put an edge on it because it cuts so good, even without an edge. This is my 4 Max that Sawtooth reground. And it cut like a laser without an edge. I put an edge on it just on my field sharpener. I mean, it is a freaking beam. I put an edge on this. I put an edge on my 8015 that he reground and on that Tucson. I forget the name of the Tucson. I put some Slick 'em all on it last week. There's a video up, but I forget the name of it. Rocky, it is so sharp. I mean, Satu ground it so thin. I mean, it looks factory. And I just touched it up on that work sharp. And I mean, it has bite. I really could see myself getting into hand sharpening. I just don't know how I do it on a bench. I love like holding my stone and doing it this way. And I know these are shitty little stones, but I also will just hold my Veneves without an angle guide because I can feel my angle now. And I just enjoy it. It's therapeutic. And knock on wood, I haven't cut myself yet, which is a good thing. Keep getting better, Dwayne. Concepts are great blades. I have 3. I'm trying to think. I've got a bulldozer, a little bevy. And what's the concept I recently got? I've got another one. I can't think of it. Dude, they do work great. I love them. I don't think they're shitty at all. I mean, for $30, I think they're a major, major win. And stropping is bliss. I think stropping's therapeutic. I do just weird shit. I mean, I literally sit and watch live streams and have a box, Amazon box open and just cut paper into it. And I just love the sound of a thin blade going through paper, like one of my TRMs or my Lush or any of my Sawtooths. I mean, you can tell a difference. A slicey knife, like with a grindier or grittier grind, like my bug out, makes a totally different sound going through paper than some of my laser beams, even though it's very sharp, has a lot of bite, got everything I would need, and then some. Yeah, they've got those upgrade kits. I know they do for the little bench sharpener. I don't know if you can get those upgrade kits for the work sharp or if you can just get the same plates that came with it. So are you guys working tomorrow? Be careful with your guidance systems. I've jacked up a couple of blades where I didn't go around them right. You can definitely do a great job with them. Just keep your consistent pressure across the entire part of the knife and experiment with something before you jump on your fancy ones. Like I said, I boogered up my Evo. I didn't booger it up. I just took some of the coating off the blade by slurrying it. 6 a.m. Yeah, I get moving around 6 a.m. and I log in about 7:30, so I'm on Eastern time. Anthony, I'm getting ready to log out of here too, guys. I was going to go about 2 hours tonight for a light, and I'll do this again Monday night if Pocket Metal's still out. And then, of course, Friday night, we'll do Friday Night Flicks, and we'll do that up until Maddie and Stevie go live. So we'll kind of overlap those. I always plan on getting over there, and then I turn it on the couch, I'll start watching it, eat whatever I went and got, and before I type to anybody, I've passed out on the couch. I'm such a slacker. But that's how I do. I sleep in like little 2 hour, 3 hour increments. Tell me if y'all hear this. Let's see if we can hear this. Level on up. I've got some queef sounds in here. I did that just for Stevie, but I don't think they pick up. Have a great week, everybody. I love each and every one of you. Are y'all hearing the poots? I like this one, but it doesn't pick up.
Oxygen is flowing even if the mask is not inflating. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
I love you guys. Adjust your mask before helping others.
In the event that there is a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will drop from the overhead. Place the mask over your nose and mouth. Breathe normally as oxygen is flowing even if the mask is not inflating. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
Love you guys.